in high school, I played with bands and got to know a variety of musicians in town. And I noticed at that time that Spartanburg had a disproportionate number of musicians for the per capita, or I felt like they did, because there were so many people involved in music, and even more so than in Greenville, which is obviously a larger town. So um, that was one thing that I noticed. And then in 2015, I started doing a project called There Goes the Neighborhood. And I col- took my contacts from previous years with various musicians and brought them in to record my original music. And we did the first concert, I think, in February of 2019, and then we followed it up with two other concerts. But this process um, enabled me to find the musicians for the Music Trail Live concert. And when the Philharmonic approached me, I kind of had a sense of who to call in order to put this on, because I had uh, used these individuals to perform my music in those earlier concerts that I did. And so uh, that's basically uh, how I was able to do it. Um, I This was much different though, because it was not my music, and so I had to, in talking with the Philharmonic, look to see who was on the trail and try to find those that I felt like I could adequately represent, and basically started pouring through their music, the ones that I felt like I could do. I couldn't do some Rolandi and a few others that I felt like that was not my area. But I picked about 14 of those that are on the trail, and some uh, could were sort of self-contained units, like the Uncle Walt's group, or the Warren Hood trio, and then there were or Freddie and Brandon. They were used to playing Pink Anderson, so I knew that, and the Reno gang. I just had a fluke contact there and how to get in touch with them. My neighbor across the street was related to Don Reno, so that was just luck. And but anyway, got those people to come in, Marshall Chapman, and then the others were deceased, and so again I had to try to figure, based on who I knew could cover these particular artists. And so I first started pouring through these individuals like Prysock and Reverend Julius Cheeks music to see, get familiar with their material and find a couple of songs that I thought might work in a concert situation. Uh, Knowing that the challenge is these individuals in the audience have not heard these songs before, and so there has to be some connection or some way to get the audience attention with songs that they've never heard. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges. But once I went through and got certain songs, then I started thinking about who do we need to play those songs, and that's when I accessed those individuals that had performed for me in the There Goes the Neighborhood concerts, and some like Simone McOr I just knew I'd played for her mother at the high school in a couple of concerts when she was at the high school when I first got there. So I knew about Simone, and of course she's well-known performer in uh, theater and so forth here. So, uh, but the others were people pretty much. Well, I'll tell you, Cordell Hemphill. Did not know about him, and the Philharmonic introduced me to him. Um, so those two individuals were I was not familiar with, but was pretty much familiar with all the other artists.
Just give us a little bit about your musical background. I know you played in the beach band for years and years, and did you say you taught at Spartan High? Or
Right, right.
okay,
Well, when I retired from Spartan High, I was teaching advanced placement psychology and economics, um, and had been there for 40 plus years teaching. And all through this time, um, I was playing music on weekends, uh, mainly with Grand Strand Band, uh, which was a 8 piece, wound up becoming an 8 piece horn, big horn band with four horns, and we played R&B, Carolina beach music, and sort of party music, 70s music, some 80s, and played for a lot of community events and a lot in the early going colleges and fraternities uh, all over the southeast, basically. And we gravitated more towards the wedding receptions uh, in the later period, um, which was much appreciated compared to some of the
less rowdy
some
than
of
a
the
fraternity party,
fraternities.
maybe.
You know you're in trouble when people when your fourth song is "My Girl" and people are gatering to it. Not exactly a gatering song, but anyway. So there are a lot of good memories and all about that, but and some not so good. But that I enjoyed that. But I wrote songs for that band, uh, a few songs that you know got some airplay on beach shows and stuff like that. But mainly, I had other songs that were not really danceable shag type songs, and so this gave me an opportunity when I in 2015 when I started doing this project to write songs that were related to uh, basically problems that well, variety. Not all of them were problems, but some were about some crucial issues such as depression, addiction, teen isolation, racism, and some of our social problems that we have. And I had some songs that I wanted uh, to write in regards to those issues, and then um, brought in different people to perform those songs. And so that's how that project got started musically, and sort of I just branched out from what I had been doing uh, for some time. Wish I'd have started it a long time ago, actually, but unfortunately, one has to bring in an income.
I know about
So,
that. Well, how long did it take to put this whole project together? When did you start working on it?
on the music trail,
Yeah.
I would say I forget when we had our first meeting, but it took a year. It was just about all year. Yeah, the previous year, and I'd gradually start going through all the music and decide making decisions as to what songs to play. And then, immediately, really the first thing I did was contact the people that I knew would be difficult to get if I didn't call them ahead of time. So, and then I knew they would be playing. So I got our backline musicians and then started, as I said earlier, going through the music and deciding which songs I would pick that would, you know, would pique people's interest about these artists. Again, knowing the challenge of the fact that no one's heard these songs. I mean, it's like you going to listen to a band that's playing originals and you don't know a thing. You, a lot of people would rather hear something they're familiar with. And there were a couple of cases since I Fell for You and then Loves Me Like a Rock that I was able to incorporate. And I knew people will have heard one or both of those. And so I put those in, but things like Don't Advertise Your Man or It's Tight Like That, or, I mean, some of the Julius Cheeks songs, uh, people will not have heard of. And so you just kind of have to find something that you think will work.